All right, go ahead.
One of the most overlooked pieces of our overhead mobility is our thoracic spine, and that's basically from the base of my shoulder blades to the top of my shoulder blades. In today's world, most of us sit like this. We develop kind of a hinge in our back, and to clear that, or for our shoulders to clear that, if I'm sitting in this position and I now go overhead, it's very difficult for me to hold a weight above my head over here. But if I take that hinge out of my back, all of a sudden now the weight is in line, so gravity kind of holds it over my body. My muscles don't have to work, my external rotators of my shoulder don't have to work overtime to keep in that position. So if I can create a fulcrum with a double lacrosse ball in my T-spine, right in through here, and take it and kind of force my thoracic spine over the double lacrosse ball, I get rid of that hinge and all the musculature that gets short, kind of holding myself in that short position. So basically all I do is I set my spine in the middle of the double lacrosse balls, and I work my spine over it to create that extended thoracic spine position. Don't get full thoracic extension, it's healthy. The extension in our low back is what causes a lot of pain. So I'm going to work on that extension, lacrosse ball, the base of my shoulder blades, the balls are on either side of my spine. I can cheat by poking my ribs out like this. Now I don't feel anything, but if I tie my ribs down, just like that, all of a sudden it becomes a little bit harder to breathe. So I've really forced those two lacrosse balls up into the musculature that is wound into an unhealthy position. Now what I'm going to focus on is keeping this nice and tight. If I want to get extra brownie points, I bring my butt off the ground just like this, and that just puts a little bit more pressure into the lacrosse balls. For the purpose of the video and me being able to speak, I'm going to start right here. Ribs are tied down nice and tight, and now what we're going to enforce is the overhead position. Palms up so that I'm externally rotated at the shoulder, and I'm going to reach all the way up and overhead. At this point, there is no limitation in my thoracic spine. Really easy pass-throughs. I'll maybe do 3 to 10 pass-throughs just to feel if there's anything yucky in there. From there, I'm going to move up about ½ an inch. I'm going to do the same thing. Abs are tied down so that my ribs aren't flaring all over the place. Same thing, really easy spot to work through, no issue. So I'm just going to work until I find a place that's really limited. This feels a little bit more juicy. And there you go, you can see I'm not able to touch the ground. I'm still externally rotated, but limited in some sort of area there. So I'm going to hug myself, try and grab my shoulder blades and pull them away from my spine as much as possible. This gives my dorsal scapular nerve enough room to move out of the way of the lacrosse ball so you don't smash that to pieces. I'm going to rock back and forth. A little bit of extension, flexion over that ball, kind of mash into that area. And now I'm going to retest that, externally rotated, boom. No issues at all. Real simple move that clears up nasty sections of the thoracic spine. Amazing what it can do for the overhead range of motion. And I'm just going to work the whole way up, looking for those areas of limitation. Inevitably you're going to find them, just spend extra time on them. But basically the goal of it is seek and destroy, work your way up your spine. If there's an area that's more nasty than another, spend some time on it, mash around. The only thing that I will say to look out for is your dorsal scapular nerve, which runs right next to your shoulder blade, but also up against your spine. So if you pull your scapula away from your spine, you create space for that nerve to kind of move away from the spine, thus not getting smashed by the lacrosse balls. Other than that, it is very difficult to aggravate that musculature. It's very dense, it's very hardy. So spend some time in there, twice a day, definitely gets a good grade for the average student. So have fun with that.